Hello everyone, and welcome to the WSHL Coaches Corner. This is Brahmaland. Hello everyone, I'm Clif Foster. Joining me for the WSHL Coaches Corner are Jeremy Law and Coach Joey Howze. Today we have some interesting questions. We had kind of a rough week to start out. El Paso came in and they showed how rhinos like to stampede.
Right.
But we came back. Second game was on Saturday, looked very promising, but alas it ended rather tough.
Right. Yeah, it's one you want to forget about pretty soon, but we obviously came out a lot better Saturday night. Yeah. Took a 5-goal lead, and you like to think that things are going to look up for you that night. But we played like we had the lead versus having a 0-0 game and continuing to compete. So we got a little comfortable with the lead, and then obviously got into some penalty trouble, and things fell apart. So.
Well, and it wasn't just you guys with the penalty trouble. There was. El Paso was right there with you, but overall, it still was an incredibly entertaining series.
Yeah,
I mean, no matter what, you guys came out and fought.
They're a great team, and obviously for the last 7-8 years they've been one of the top teams in our division, in our league, our entire league. So we like to think we could be there with them, and I think pretty soon we will.
Definitely. So what we have. Saturday's game went into double overtime, and last year versus this year, last year it went straight from the 4-on-4 5-minute sudden death to a shootout.
Yep.
This year, a change has been implemented. We were thrown off because instead of going to shootout, it went to a 3-on-3 sudden death. Now, from my understanding, that's you, right?
When we had our annual league meeting in Las Vegas, we go over rule changes, and I suggested that we implement that going to 3-on-3 after the 4-on-4. Basically, that's what they do in Canada.
Right.
And coaches don't like to lose a game from a shootout.
Right.
So it just really kind of gives you the ability to finish the game in some sort of, even man situation. Style play. So.
Right. Now, with me, I'm a giant fan of the shootout just because I like to see what's going to happen, and that's kind of with you guys explaining it. That's what I love the 3-on-3 now, because it's just because of the way you guys were able to. You don't want to lose in that type of situation where it's you might not have some of the kids with the same skills as the other team.
Yeah, and I like to think the 3-on-3 is just as exciking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so open. There's breakaway after breakaway, 2-on-1 after 2-on-1.
From the time that kids are coached when they're little kids, it's all about creating a 2-on-1 scenario, a situation. So on the offensive side of the puck, you have your players where you're trying to create a 2-on-1 scenario, and then on the defensive side of the puck, you're trying to keep it a man-on-man type situation. So there's a whole lot like Jeremy said, there's a whole lot of ice there. And in fact, this goal they scored, I think it was 30 seconds left in the 5-minute 3-on-3, where they had developed a 2-on-1 against us, and our defenseman stepped into the passing lane closer to the puck carrier to try to take him and eliminate him, and he got a puck through to the guy in the open net, open crease area.
Yeah,
and
it was, no matter what, I mean, it was an incredibly exciting game, especially once you get that 3-on-3, like you were saying. I mean, it's, if you guys can go back, you just listen. You don't even have to watch, just listen to it, and it's, it's exciting.
Back and forth, it was great. I think I counted seven seven 2-on-1s we had in the extra periods.
Yeah.
And I think they had 4 or 5. So, I mean, it was just back and forth.
And it was a good period.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. And how does that make you feel to have one of something you suggested implemented into it?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it obviously wasn't anything. It's in Canada, they've been doing it for 4 or 5 years. So I like to see it in our league. I think in a shootout puts a lot of pressure on your goaltender.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
I'd rather see the whole team take the responsibility of the game.
Okay. And that's really cool. It is a team game.
Yep.
And so now to switch gears a little bit, you have how do I even phrase it? You're billeting right now.
Correct.
Now, can you explain that to everybody who doesn't necessarily know what it is?
Billeting is a term that's used in the hockey sense that our players range anywhere from the age of 20 down to 16, 17-year-old young men. Like we've talked about on previous broadcasts where we have kids from Russia, we have kids from Sweden, we have kids from all over the United States. Obviously, these young men aren't old enough or mature enough to live on their own or have the finances to. So the term billeting is where we coordinate with families here locally, where they provide them a room to sleep. And a home to live in during hockey season. And they become their foster family, for lack of a better term.
Right.
Of course, the players pay for that. There's a fee that the players pay for that. But, at least they have a home where they can eat and sleep, clothes wash, hang out when they're not here at the rink or out with their teammates, or on the road when we're on the road.
Okay. Now, you are currently billeting, correct?
Correct. I've billeted ever since our program has been started here.
Now, we were talking previous to broadcast that you at one point you had 7?
Correct. At one point, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, by the end of the season, I had 7 players living in my home.
Now, how does that play with your family dynamic?
Actually, it just makes it a better family time. Believe it or not, the greatest time of the day that we enjoyed the most was dinner time.
Yeah.
I cook at the house, and so everybody always looked forward to the table. We made a rule that all cell phones had to be put away.
Good call.
And to have 7 hockey players at your table, you never knew what subjects were going to come up. And of course, with hockey, playing jokes is synonymous. I mean, it's just it just goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
So it was just every night was always a new story to be told.
Right.
And so. It's great. Jeremy has a few good stories himself to tell for billeting days.
Yeah, and I quite often go over there for dinner myself too. So I'm not a billet player with Joey, but I definitely like to enjoy his cooking. So
hey, can't beat that. Maybe one day I'll sneak in and steal some scraps.
Yep.
Now we've had several transactions going along. Shane Joyce, he bumped up and came back down. How has that changed anything as far as with the team dynamic?
Yeah, we've had some changes. Obviously, coaching at the Tier 3 level, we encourage our players to play at the highest level they can. And Shane's been given an opportunity with our North American League team.
Okay.
So although it hurts us in the sense we lose a great goaltender. Right. But we're thrilled for Shane, and we're happy he has that opportunity. We wish him the best of luck. So.
We've told the boys that at the Tier 3 level, even at the Tier 2 where Shane is at right now, it's still a development league, Right. Our goal is to develop our players to be prepared for the next level. For some, it would be for the NA at the Tier 2 level. Right. For some, it'll be for college next year. But that's what our mission and our goal is to prepare our players to move on to the next level. And I feel quite certain for Dan and Jeff Potts that's their goal as well, is to be able to prepare their players for the next level as well. So that's, I think any coach who coaches youth hockey, that should be their main incentive is to prepare their players always for the next level.
Absolutely. And with that, kind of going along with that, this next weekend we have Tulsa. Yep. I believe they're the Junior Oilers.
Yep.
Do you guys have anything? What's your approach to coming at the Oilers?
Let's win some games.
We just focus every week, not so much on who we're playing,
right?
Because we haven't seen the Oilers play yet, so we just focus on what we can do best. And I think after the El Paso series, we have some banged up bodies, and we're looking for some rest this week and be prepared for Tulsa. So I think it'll be a good series, and I feel confident our guys will be ready. So
now, what are you guys trying to do to rehab some of those players?
Well, we took Monday off.
Okay.
So, it's nice in the season to give the boys a day off to recover and get proper rest, and then they're getting treatment every day.
Okay.
So we have our team doctor, and they're in there rehabbing their injuries. And,
right.
And none of them are serious, so
good.
Just some bumps and bruises, and we'll be ready to go.
Well, and sometimes those bumps and bruises add up.
Yeah.
And
well, the injuries that we have right now, they're more common with the start of the season.
Right.
Whereas and most of them come from good hits, solid hits, open ice and against the glass, against the board hits, and whereas they kind of build up a tolerance for those hits towards the end of the season. So I feel like we should be back at full strength by Friday morning when we load the bus to head to Tulsa.
Outstanding. Yep. Well, with that's going to finish us up here on the Coach's Corner. But stick with us because we have Amy. She's going to start off our player spotlight here shortly. She was able to meet up with number 4 Michael O'Reilly earlier this week, and we're going to meet that new team player.
When did you start playing hockey, and what drew you into the sport?
I started playing hockey when I was 7, and my dad played in high school, so it just seemed like a good idea.
Who did you play for before you came to the Brahmas?
I played with the Odessa Jackalopes in the NA, and then before that I was with Little Caesars in Michigan.
So explain how you got on the Brahmas. Like, what was the process for that?
Well, I got released from Odessa a couple weeks ago, and they just picked me up.
What are you looking forward to this season with your team?
Just winning some games and playing hard.
All right, Michael, thanks for coming on. Good luck on your next game.
Yeah, thank you.
The Texas Brahmas want to hear from you. Drop us a comment on Facebook.com/JRBrahmas or ask a question to feature on the next Coach's Corner. All of your Brahmas action can be viewed live and on demand at www.fasthockey.com. Simply create an account, buy game credits, and watch your Texas Brahmas live.
Welcome to the WSHL Texas Junior Brahmas Player Spotlight. I'm Clif Foster. Joining me today from the Texas Junior Brahmas from the WSHL, we have Oliver Eklund, we've got Jimmy Anderson, and we have the big giant Cole Rose. So, we're gonna get started here. Oliver, what happened this weekend? That's what we're gonna go with first. How'd this weekend go for you guys?
Well, not that great to be honest, but we played El Paso, great team.
Right.
They're a beast in net.
Yeah.
But first game we lost 5-1. Came out to the second game on Saturday just ready to play and pumped up. Got ahead to 5-0, I think. Yeah. And then they put in that huge giant in net, and we could not score on him, and they just got all the momentum going and came back to 5-5 tie. Went into double overtime. Lost 6-5.
And that one was pretty rough on you guys, but you were able, you guys came back Sunday obviously and felt a little bit about the situation, but you were able to speak with our technical director / producer / troublemaker, Kason Bryden, and you talked to him about Adam Vey, who was the goalie for the El Paso Rhinos, and you mentioned something about in the flow.
Yes.
What does that mean to you? And what does that mean? Explain that to us.
Okay.
Because I'm just a simple TV guy.
Yeah. Basically what it means is just when a goalie is in the flow, he's just really confident. At least this is for me. I'm really confident. Just let the shots come at me and I'm going to save him, All
right.
And I think that's pretty much what he was thinking. He was just, every shot that's facing me, I'm going to save it, no matter what.
Now, so this weekend was pretty rough for you guys.
Yes.
And you were in net for some of that, and it was tough. I mean, El Paso came out and they were playing you guys hard, and you fought. And speaking of fights, let's send it over to Cole Rose. Now, Cole, you and I believe his name was Nick Wright for the El Paso Rhinos. There was it was a huge fight. I mean, you guys are both big. I believe he was 6'4", and you, how tall are you?
I'm like 6'1", 6'2" on a good day. So.
On a day where you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
What started the fight?
Well, it all started in the first game. I was trying to pump my team up,
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do. So I was just going out there, and I asked him a few times, and his coach said no. So, there's nothing I can really do about that. But the second game, I was running a few of their guys.
Yeah.
I guess the coach didn't like that, so
he said,
he
go
sent
ahead.
him out, and I said, okay, let's do it.
Now, with everything that happened, you ended up you got the game suspension. You both did. And it's we talked to your coach, Jeremy Law, about what had happened, and it turns out that because he dumped his gloves before the puck was dropped in between the whistles, and that's what ended up getting you the game.
Yeah, he dropped his stuff before the whistle or before the puck was dropped, and then he was also throwing punches when the refs were trying to break it up.
Oh yeah.
Which is usually you don't do that, but
yeah.
I guess he was mad, so.
Well, and it's we've seen you throw down a few times. We've seen you take some hits, and that's one of my favorite things. Is one of the first shows that we had. You had a huge hit. It was a big hit. A player was coming up to the blue line, and you stood him up and dropped him, and that was one of my favorite. Just absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
What runs through your head right before you do it? Anything?
No, if you think about it, then that's gonna mess you up. You got to just go and do it. Just do it. Don't think about it.
Is that do you like to take the name Enforcer?
Yeah, I mean, sure, I'd love to have that name, but also I don't want that to be my only thing.
Okay.
I can play hockey too.
Yeah,
so.
well, and my color guy and I, his name's Thomas Nowers. He can't be with us today, but we were going over all the stat sheets, and you have several goals.
Yeah.
And that's it's crazy because it's one of those things where you can kind of do it all, where you come in and you've got you just open it up, you pump your team up by lighting somebody up, drilling them into the boards, or just setting them up in open ice. And then on top of that, you'll come back and tap it in. You've got accuracy, and you can. I think we saw a few goals where it went in 5-hole, so you know where to shoot.
Yeah.
Now, how does that, with you being one of the bigger kids on your team, how does that go into your game?
Well, if you're a bigger guy, you need to play like a bigger guy. Hit and take up space and just do a big guy role. It's just
I like
simple.
that. Do the big guy role. Now, Jimmy, with you are. Let's send it over. You're a defenseman.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
You've got a heck of a shot, and you like to unleash it. Now, what I've noticed is that it rises. No matter where you're at, if you're at the blue line, if you're at the out at the point, at the high slot, you're over in the face-off circle, you're going to let it loose and it's going to rise. Yeah. How are you able to pull that off?
I just practicing my shot all the time during practice. Sometimes I'll go up maybe 15 minutes early out on the ice for practice, and I'll just get the bucket of pucks and just start shooting and just go at it, yeah.
Now, when you see Oliver's a rather tall young man, and he's in net, does that go into anything that you have to deal with whenever you're trying to take a shot?
Yeah, you always got to look at the goalie and try to find out his weak spots. Since Oliver's kind of a big kid, you can't really. I don't know.
He doesn't have a weak spot.
He doesn't have really any weak spots, but usually for a tall goal, you'll try to shoot low just because it takes us quicker.
Yeah.
Well, it takes them slower to drop down, and they're always quicker up high. But just.
Now, what kind of defenseman would you consider yourself? Are you more defensive or are you more offensive?
Kind of neutral. I mean, I can be defensive when I choose to, but I can be also offensive when I choose to as well.
Okay. Now, what we're gonna run through. Now, you guys have Shane Joyce is obviously a teammate. Now, how does that, with him being sent up to the NA team, does that change anything as far as chemistry?
Well, it's always a tough blow, but I mean, it's a good opportunity for him. We want him to go far as well. So, I mean, but it doesn't really change what we're doing. We actually have another goalie coming in, so looking to be good.
Now, have you guys taken a look at Tulsa yet? Have you seen any film?
No, not really.
Nothing?
I haven't seen any film on them, but their goalie is actually my roommate from last year.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I talked to him and he said it's rough up there.
Is it?
He faces a lot of shots.
Really?
So it's going to be a huge weekend for us to just go in and take every game as it is, you know.
With Shane moving up, that essentially leaves you. That's you. It's all you now. Does that put any added pressure on you?
I mean, I guess a little bit, but I love it. I want to be in net every single night and just face all those shots and make those big saves, help the team to win, you know. And so not really too much. You know?
Okay. Now it's time for us to have fun. All right. Now I'm going to bust out my hot seat questions. We're going to start here. This is the first 3 questions are going to be for each of you to answer. So we'll start here with you, Oliver. We'll move it along, and then on the second question you'll start, and then we'll do it the same way. Okay? All right. Oliver, the top 3 colleges you'd like to attend, and what degree would you like to pursue?
That's a tough question for me. Being from Sweden, I don't know a whole lot about college hockey.
Yeah.
I've seen 1 or 2 games actually live, and they were both up in Colorado Springs with the Colorado College, and I like that. So maybe that can be one of my schools.
Then what are your plans after once you move along?
Right now, I feel like I want to go to college and play. I don't know where or in what level, but I guess we'll figure that out during the year, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's move it along. Jimmy, 3 colleges, degree.
Well, first college have to be Colorado College because I've seen them play. Every time I go out there, I'll watch a game. I'll go with Michigan State, second one. Then third will have to be University of North Dakota. For sure.
What would you like to study?
Anything in sports medicine or just anything in sports in general.
Okay, cool. Cole?
I really don't know 3 colleges I'd want to go to. Just any D3 school that would take me pretty much.
Okay.
I'll go.
All right.
And, I want to study business. I want to start my business one day. So.
Okay, cool. Now you hang on to this one. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Probably the ability to slow down time.
Okay.
Yeah, because then I could just go score a bunch of goals and go to the NHL. So.
Nice. That would be awesome. Jimmy?
Oh, well, for me, it'd have to be strength because I'm a small guy, so I don't really have a lot. So it'd be good to have that, throw some bodies around, you know.
There you are. Ollie?
This is a hard one. I have 2 that I think I would like to have.
Okay.
And the first one is the ability to be able to fly.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Just to be able to do it, you know. I don't know really why. And then maybe, invisibility.
Oh, nice. That'd be a good one.
That'd be a good one. And I don't know.
Just, it'd be fun to be invisible.
Fun to be
That's
invisible,
it.
Yeah.
All right, here's the next one. You'll love this one. In a fight, how many 5-year-olds do you think you could take? I can take on 26.
26? That's a whole lot. I'm not a big, strong guy, so let's see. Maybe like 5 of them.
Oh, I think you could take on more than 5, but...
I'm 5. Let's go with 5.
All right.
I don't want to make it too tough for me, you know.
There you go. Jimmy?
Oh, I really don't know. Like you said, I'm not really a strong guy either. So I'd say probably about 15.
All right.
So.
Cole, how many 5-year-olds do you think you could take in a fight?
I don't know. 100, 200.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
It's a good number. All right. Now, these are the next questions. You'll get the first question, you'll get the second, and you'll get the third, okay?
Okay.
All right. Who do you think, and you're not allowed to nominate yourself, by the way, who do you think would end up coming out in the most interesting pre-game clothes?
Probably Jack Norling.
Norling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
He's crazy.
Okay.
He's from Sweden, so half the time he doesn't know what's going on.
Okay. So. Jimmy, your question is, who is Who on your team is the least likely to win Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, that's a tough one. We have a lot of kids like that, but I'd probably have to go with Tim Allen just because he's so big and lanky. So I'll have to go with him.
All right. Ollie, your question is, who on your team do you think is the most likely to win on Jeopardy?
I'll have to say Cole Rose.
Nice.
He's a big gambler, you know, so
With
Cole
that,
Rose.
thank you guys very much. I appreciate you coming on to the WSHL Player Spotlight. Oliver Eklund, Jimmy Anderson, and Cole Rose. Thank you guys so much for coming on. With that, thanks for tuning in here for the WSHL Coaches Corner and the Player Spotlight. I'm Clif Foster. Have a good night.